Good morning and welcome to another video from me where I talk about mindfulness, self-mastery and well-being. Today I'm going to talk about, it's actually off the back of a podcast episode. So if you haven't heard of her, there's a lady called Dr. Laurie Santos, American professor at Yale University. She created a course that ended up being like the top course taken by Yale students, and it's about the desire, the where does our happiness lie? What is our happiness truly rooted in? It's a great course. It's available to anybody to take actually, so you can log in, sign up to it from the website. I can't remember if it's like 13 weeks. And there are some quizzes and things at the end of it. You don't need to do any of those. It's really just about going through the course. The modules are pretty straightforward and simple. You just need to sit there and listen. So it's definitely worth carving out some time. But today I want to talk about, she's got a podcast called Happiness Lab. Great podcast show. Also worth checking that out. And just really getting simple tips and ideas around, what brings happiness to us. And today I'm going to talk about one particular episode, which was, what has the pandemic told us about happiness? And, you can include the current cost of living crisis, the war in Ukraine, and all of those things. So for me, it's not really just about the pandemic. It's about, what are we learning from the things that are going on around the world right now, and how they could potentially impact us now. Much like the pandemic, it's easy to get caught up in all of those things that are going on, and for fear and anxiety to set in. And I'm not saying, if you have suffered with fear and anxiety due to these scenarios going on in the world, these situations, I'm not kind of trying to put you down or anything like that. I'm just saying, the world, 8 billion people, the universe and all the planets and whatever, there's so much in the world that isn't within our control. So, we can't do anything about those things at all. But what we can do is, for those of us that have a level of privilege, because I know and recognize and fully accept that not everyone does. We don't all have the privileges. Some of us might be dealing with situations now as a result of the pandemic and the cost of living crisis and the war in Ukraine and so on. We could be dealing with the real life things that are true to us. And so this isn't about minimizing what you're going through or anything like this. But for those of us that are able to ride the crest of the wave, so to speak, at the minute with these things, and we're doing all right. This is for you. Let's be grateful. Let's be grateful that we got through the pandemic intact. Let's be grateful that we have our health and well-being. Let's be grateful for the loved ones that we have. And our happiness, as you'll see if you listen to that podcast episode, and also the Happiness Lab podcast, and the course as well, our happiness is rooted in so much more than what we think it's rooted in. Our minds, by default, and our surrounding environment and society and culture, especially if you're, capitalist-based economies, tell us that our happiness is rooted in so many more things, in possessions, consumers, acquisition of wealth. But the reality is that it's not. Our happiness is rooted in simple things, and the pandemic, if that didn't tell us that, then I don't know what did, right? And I don't know what will do. So this is just a thought. This isn't a judgmental thing that I'm trying to put on people. I'm just saying the research is out there. Our happiness is rooted in so much more, and certainly not in the things that we can't control. It's rooted in the things that are simple. It's rooted in the things that we can control. It's rooted in the relationships that we have with our loved ones. So anyway, I've just realised that I've spoken for a bit more than I normally prefer to. So hope you have a great day. Hope you have a happy day. Let me know what you think of that particular podcast episode. You know, what the pandemic taught us about happiness. And let me think just what you think in general about either the course at Yale that Dr. Laurie Sanchez created. Take care. Love and respect. Bless up. One love. Peace.